going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast, Drinks After Work with Shelly. How are you guys? Happy Monday. We made it through another weekend. These weekends be going by too quick, but we made it through another Monday. Thank God it's over. But I hope everybody had a great day today. I had a very eventful Monday. I went to what did I do? I went to the gym. Woke up very early. I don't know. I hate it when it's like your day off and you still end up waking up early, close to the same time that you would normally wake up to go to work. I don't like that. Sometimes I just want to sleep in, and I can never just sleep in, like, unless I know I came home at like 2 in the morning. Then I can sleep in until like 10, maybe 11. But other than that, I'm always up early. So whatever. I woke up, went to the gym. Yes, I am back in the gym. I did go last week. I know I said I wasn't going to go last week, but I ended up going anyway. I wasn't not feeling 100% yet. I still got this daggone cough that will not go away. And it really gets on my nerves, for real. Like, it really just, it won't go away. No matter what I take, no matter how much Theraflu, NyQuil, Dayquil, tea, ginger, it just won't go away. So I'm just like here stuck with it. But I would say I sound better. I don't sound like a 98-year-old man who's been smoking cigarettes his entire life. So that's a good thing. But yes, as you see, still got a cough. Anyway, so yeah, I went to the gym, did some running around, went to the eye doctor. I'm blind. Like, my eyesight is just like getting worse and worse. And I'm just like, I need to just do this surgery and just do corrective, because it's not, I can't with the glasses and the paying $180 something for contacts. It's crazy. So I'm thinking of doing LASIK. I don't know. I'm thinking. A few people I know said they got it and they absolutely will never, I mean, not to say you can never go back to going to having bad eyesight, but then again, I heard you could. So I don't know how true that is. I'm not sure. But either way, went to the eye doctor. Vision hasn't gotten terribly bad. Let me not drag it, but it's still, I still can't see nothing. And now I'm here talking to you guys. So it was a very eventful day, for the most part, just a lot of running around, but regardless, it still was a good day. I hope you guys had a good day, whether you went to work, whether you just stayed in the bed, whether you went out with friends, whether you prayed all day, whatever it may have been. I'm glad you guys enjoyed your day. So last week I put up on my Instagram, I wasn't sure what topic I really wanted to talk about. I had like 3 different things in my mind of exactly like what I wanted to say and what I wanted to speak on, but I sometimes, just want a better direction. So I asked you guys, which one should I talk about this week? And it was a tie. Like, I had a lot of comments on all of them, but the one that got the most comments was the topic on friendships and wishing them well, but saying goodbye to friendships. And it made me ask, like, myself, why a lot of people are going through this, I guess, transition in their life where their old friends are either still in their life and they're just having difficult moments with them, or they're finding new friendships and they are enjoying the newer friendships than they were enjoying the older ones, or just feeling like they're losing everything, like they're losing old friends, new friends, can't make friends. And that was mostly all the comments that people were really saying to me, and even texting me as well, like, oh, hit the point on this, or speak about that, or what's your opinion about this. And I always just give my opinion off of what I've been through. And what I've learned and what I'm continuing to learn. Because again, I'm not perfect in any way whatsoever. I have my flaws. I don't do everything right. I sometimes need to be put in my place because I be thinking one way and it's like, no, Michelle, you got to think this way. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. So it's just how I've saw things throughout my life and just saw things throughout my developing, especially in my 20s and now in my 30s, just seeing friendships differently than what I used to back then. And obviously, as you get older, from your high school friends to the friends that you meet in your 20s to now the friends that you have in your 30s, the dynamics change. So, and not even just for me, just from what I've seen other people go through and how they've handled it, and how life can just alter relationships and friendships alike. So it's not, a man thing or a girl thing. It's just a human thing. So that is the topic for tonight. I wish you well. Letting go of friendships, or saying goodbye to friendships. So I am drinking tea tonight. I'm not messing with nobody's wine, nobody's liquor. I'm just drinking tea tonight. So I hope you guys got your drinks and let's talk. So it's obvious that, friendships can last a lifetime, right? Some friendships last from preschool until death do you both part. Some friendships last only for a specific grade or time, like elementary school, middle school, high school, college. Some make it past that. Some make it from off your neighborhood block. Some make it from that, white picket fence or your childhood home and into longevity and into you having your family and they having their family, and you guys continue your friendship. And sometimes you call them, you make them a part of your family. Because, family is not just blood related. Family is also who you make as your family. Like, you can have someone who you've known since you were in diapers and your children call them uncle and auntie, or you refer to them as your sister or your brother instead of a friend, or you refer to them as your cousin, or whatever the case may be. But that's just the connection that you guys have. But let's be real, some don't. Some fade away, some outgrow each other, some end badly, and some can even end tragically. But let's say that neither of that happens, right? Neither of the few happen. You guys are you both are in great health. Life is just lifing, and you guys are on your own adventure and quest to find who you are and what you want out of life. Time goes by and you're not as connected as you once were, or as close as you guys once were. And again, there's no falling out. Like, there was no issues, there was no bad blood, no arguing, no nothing. Just time and the paths that you both are on are leading you both into two different ways. And that's okay too. That also happens. It's okay to outgrow a friendship and that no longer serves you. It's okay to leave those behind that no longer add to you, no longer add to the value or align with what it is you have planned in your life. It's okay to fall back from friendships that are toxic. Now, you don't want, as you get older, I feel like for me especially, I fall back from toxicity. Like, before, it used to be, I wouldn't say fun, but it was just always like, it is what it is, and that's just how they are, or it's nothing, it's not a big deal. But as you get older, it's like, do I really want somebody like that around me? Because that brings negativity into my circle that I don't want. Like, they're always putting you down, or they're never lifting you up, or they're always getting into fights, always getting into arguments with other people, like basically embarrassing you when you're outside in public. Like, nobody wants that either. It's okay to feel like you've done all you can to keep a relationship going and have all the understanding you could possibly have for whatever it is they may be going through and what you may be going through. but you realize that it's just not going anywhere, that there is no progression on either sides. It's okay to find a friend or a few friends that intertwine with your vision in life. And if that means leaving behind old friendships and focusing more on new ones, that's okay too. And it's okay to not have the friendship end in a nasty fallout. Everybody, I feel like, not everyone, but I feel like majority of people like drama. Like, it has to just be so drama filled. It has to just have so much ups and downs and turmoils. And grow up. No, it doesn't. It does not have to be that way. Like, it doesn't always have to be. It always doesn't have to end in something bad. It can just literally be two people, or not even two. It could be 3, 4, 5, however many people was in your group, or if it was just you and a best friend, or you and someone that you was always counting on, or you called your best friend, right? It could just be that y'all two just don't mesh well anymore, and life is just taking you both on two different directions. So when I was coming up with this episode, I was also listening and reading the comments of what people were saying and hearing what people were telling me, like on the phone, and just interactions that I was having with people. And they were saying, like, basically what it all came down to was that people are trying to keep in this year people around them who have good intentions. And if you don't have good intentions for this person or for you, or even for myself, I could say that too. It's not a, oh, fuck them, or I can't stand this person, or she ain't shit, or he ain't shit, and this and that and the third. It's just more of a, I need to do what's best for me. And if you're not feeding into the positivity that I'm trying to bring into my life, I need you to leave. If you're still holding on to things that happen years ago, we can have a conversation. If we have the conversation and we move forward, then fine. If not, I wish you well, and I'm just going to proceed with my life the way I need to proceed with my life. And I guess people really seeing also people for who they really are, not letting the blinders, like how horses have the blinders on, so that way they know, they stay focused on the direction that they have to go in. I feel like a lot of people are taking those off now too. If I could say that, right? Where they just don't want to be blindsided anymore. And they want to really see somebody for who they are and how they interact with others when they're around and when they're not around. And just pointing out certain things that just, I guess, like I said, just not sitting well with you. And something that really caught my attention, what a lot of people said, was the underlining hate and the envy that a lot of people have, that, that's supposed to be your friend, and they don't like you as much as you think that they do. But I wrote this all down, so I'm just going to go based off of everything that I wrote and summarize it. And of course, in the comments, I want you guys to put down what you think, and the DMs also, let me know what you guys are thinking. And as I'm talking about the DMs and the comments, I am putting together the podcast own separate TikTok, own separate Instagram, that will be conjoined with mine. But I also want you guys to just have a place to just see where all the videos and clips and everything will be at. So that's coming up. I'm going to put that on there as well. But let's get into it, right? All right, so the question that I basically asked myself was, how do you know that the friendship has come to an end, or that you need to call it quits? So the first thing that I came up with was, you're giving more than you're receiving. This goes for relationships, friendships, family ships, business partners, co-workers, whatever. When it seems like you're giving more to a friendship and never getting anything in return, even like a minuscule amount of energy, right? Then it's time to reevaluate where you stand with them. I'm not saying in the first situation or the first invitation that you didn't get to go outside, but I'm talking about like the third or fourth. Maybe that may be too much too. Maybe the second. Let's take it back. Maybe the second one. But whatever your amount is, because remember I said that before. Everybody has their own time limit. Everybody has their own clock where it may feel like, okay, after the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 15th, 20th, whatever time suits well for you. But after that, that numbered situation that sends you to the point of you saying, you know what, I've had it. You realize that there's no more of a relationship between the two of you, or even just between you and the group, or the whole group as a whole. Everybody could probably feel the same way and no one's really saying anything about it. Then it's time for you to walk away. I've had friendships where I felt like I was being present more. I've said this before. I wasn't and haven't really been good at showing up. I'm always there, like, when you need to call me, call me. If you need me for something, call the phone. I'm gonna answer. If I don't answer, I'm gonna text you, whatever. But just being there and going out more to events and going out more to, just because, like, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, I can definitely assert myself more in that, and I've made that a promise to myself for this year to do that more so. Even though my work schedule does not allow for me to go out every weekend, nor am I the person who really likes to go out every weekend. I'm telling y'all, I am good with the chocolate ice cream or some brownies and a good movie, and I'm set. I ain't gotta go out. But I did, like I said, made a promise to myself that I would go out more, just on weekends, like Saturday nights, like I said, Friday nights, and go and hang out with my friends more. Birthday celebrations, I am 9 out of 10 times always going to be there for birthday celebrations, unless the check ain't checking and everything else is due around the same time. But I always got you on the back end. And I'll always still celebrate your birthday. But going back to the question, as you're giving more than you're receiving, I say all of that to say that I, regardless of my schedule, I was still making an effort, still was giving my time, still would call, still would text, still would say, hey, are you available this time? Can we just go a little bit earlier? X, Y, and Z. And it was like, oh yeah, sure, no problem, we could do this. Oh yeah, sure, no problem, we could do that. And when the time would come, it would be an excuse, or it would be a reason as to why they can't go. And at first I would understand it. Like I said, things happen. But it always felt like I had to be the one to put my foot forward to fix something, or to get us to see each other, or for us to hang out. And like I said, I eventually was just like, you know what? I'm going to pull back. And after I pulled back, I heard nothing else. And it wasn't just a friend. It was also family members as well. And I've had that conversation with family, and I would just say, like, okay, you can reach out too. Like, there's nothing wrong with you asking me a question or asking me if I can come see you or whatever. But it was when I started to feel that way with this particular friend, it was just like I needed to pull back. I needed to see, like, okay, am I going to get any of this back in return? Am I going to be asked to, hey, let's hang out, let's do this, let's do that, when can we meet up? And feel like I'm wanted in the friendship as well, because it feels like I'm the only one that wants to keep this going and you don't. And sometimes people don't know how to say it. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt his or her feelings. I don't know how to really approach the situation. So they just pull back without saying anything. Needless to say, I wouldn't say we're friends, but we are associates, and we're cool. If I see this person, it's just like, okay, how you doing? How's everything? How's life? Cool. All right. Good to see you. And that's it. There is no animosity. There's no toxic arguing. There's none of this. Oh, this bitch, no, it's not even that serious. But that's one way that you can tell that a friendship is coming to an end, when you feel like you're putting out more, and despite whatever is going on in life, that person isn't giving back the same energy that you're giving to them. And like I said, life be life and things be happening, but I feel like as a friend, you should be able to come to your friends and say whatever is going on in your relationship. Which leads me to number 2. When you feel like, this is number 2, when you feel like you can't talk to them, when you can't have open and honest conversations with your friends, I don't care what it is that I am doing. I tell all my friends this. If it's something that I'm doing wrong, point it out to me. If I come to you asking your opinion about something and you say to me, Michelle, get a grip. Are you losing your mind? You can't be fucking serious. Be for real. Does that make sense? I want you to tell me that. Was I always receptive to it? No. I will be the first one to say I did not like people giving me any type of feedback, any type of constructive criticism. I wasn't a fan. I didn't care to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. I was combative. I was just like, well, this is why I did it. And I had to realize that I was doing that. And I had to hone in on that before I even started this podcast, because I even get it now with constructive criticism that I absolutely love and I appreciate. But I had to be able to receive it in a better way than what I was receiving it before. So I've even said to some of my old friends, and I was just like, if I was ever really not receptive to what it is you were telling me about myself, I'm sorry. Now that I am older and I'm able to take in what it is you're telling me, I appreciate it, because your friends should be able to tell you when you're wrong. Like, for me personally, as a friend, I'm going to tell you when what you're doing isn't right. And I don't have to sit here and yell at you. I don't have to sit here and get all in your face about it. It's just going to be a simple thing of, listen, that shit that you just did, as your friend, I'm going to tell you right now, that don't make no sense. And I don't think you should have done that. It wasn't right. The consequences behind it. And how I feel like you could possibly fix it if you want to fix it. But I don't think that's something that you should have done. If you cannot be honest with your friends, and if you cannot have a conversation about something that they have either done to you or they've done to somebody else, then the friendship is over. Because there's no way that you could tell me that as a friend, like what my mom what she used to tell me, birds of a feather flock together. If you outside acting a fool, doing the things that you do, and I'm hanging out with you, that's going to make me look dumb and make me look like, oh, she acts just like this one. Or, and when you're younger, you never really think about it. But then when you get older, it's just like, I don't want that around me, because I don't want people thinking that I act the same way. So if I tell you, like, listen, you're making the group, or you're making me look like we're trouble, like we're drama filled, like we have issues, like we're the mean girls, like we're this and that and the third, I'm gonna need you to fix that. And I want you to understand I'm coming at you as your friend to tell you what you need to fix. And they should be receptive to whatever it is you're trying to tell them. And if they're not, it's up to you how you want to handle it. Because again, I wasn't always receptive to what people were telling me and the things that I was doing wrong or what I could have fixed. But it's however you want to handle the situation after that. But that's how you know that either the friendship is coming to an end or that it needs some tweaking and it needs some adjusting, because you don't want to have that around in your face and in your circle. So the third one, which I said before, caught me off guard. I didn't think a lot of people were having this problem, but apparently, underlining hate or envy for each other. Like, how can that really be your friend if you really have jealousy and hate and envy for your friend? Like that, then that's not your friend. if you feel that way deep down whenever you see your friend achieving something and you have this like screwed up face and you're just like, or you really don't congratulate them when something big in their life happens, you don't post it, or you don't send them a nice text message or a phone call or something to uplift them, and it's just a simple congratulations. Shady boots. Anyway, it doesn't take rocket science to see when someone is jealous of your success or the path that God is leading you down. Right? Because you can just tell, like, the passion that somebody has behind, or the passion that your friend has behind something that they really like, whether it's starting a business, writing a book, whether it comes to they can even be taking this journey on their fitness, right? Eating healthier, or whatever it is that it's life-changing or altering for them. If you can't see the happiness that your friend is having in what they're doing, and you're not congratulating them, and you don't have their back, I don't know, there's some underlining hate to me for that, or some underlining envy that you're just not trying to speak on, but it's there. There's no support, but rather questions for why you're choosing to do something. Always negative thinking, or no support for your actual dreams and what they think you should be doing rather than what you really want to do. They're never cheering you on, and they're never like really there to say, like, I got you. Like, how do you want me to support you? Like, even if it's not necessarily buying something, it could just be, like I said, making a post, shouting them out somewhere. That's how you know you're supporting your friends and you're supporting what it is they have going on in their life, and how someone really feels about you when you get that genuine, like, I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. And it's so weird that so many people, like one person said to me and commented and said that they feel like their friend, they actually had asked me a question. It wasn't, they said, how do you go about telling someone that that they're envious of you? I was like, well, how do you know that they're envious of you? I think she said that she started a hat brand. Like, she makes her own stiff brim, like the Pharrell hats. And she said that she's been putting these ideas together. She spoke to her best friend about it, and she told her best friend, like, listen, these are the ideas. I want you to help me. I want you to be my model. I want you to do this and that. Like, and the friend was just like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll be there. Whenever you want me to model, just call me. Just make sure my hair is done. Like, was giving her all of these suggestions, or, make sure you post on this day. Make sure you post at that time. And really, like, helping her and supporting her with what it is she wanted to do. And then she said when she started once it started to take off, like, it's still pretty new, that she realized her friends started to fall back. And, when she got her first, I think she said first 5 sales that she got, and the hats are not cheap. They're rather expensive. But the first 5 sales that she had got from people in, I think it was like California or something. And, she was so excited. She told her friend, she showed her the pictures, like, oh my God, they bought it. I think it was like over $1,000 that she got from these 5 hats. The friend was like, okay, cool. So she was like, all right, maybe she was just having a day. She said she did it again. There was another sale that happened, and somebody else brought hats for their, I think she was getting married. So she bought hats for the entire bridal party. And that was like another, no, I think she said about like $2,500 or so that she got from the hat hat collection, the hat order. And the friend was like, okay. So then she said after that, when she came to her and was like, hey, what's going on? Like, why aren't you supporting me? You haven't been posting. You haven't been saying anything. And she was like, oh, I'm just busy. And then she just realized, like, the conversations about her business and what her new ideas that she was always having with her just started to become more more of a, are you sure you want to do that? Or are you sure that that makes sense? Like, I wouldn't put that type of design on it, or I wouldn't do this, I would have this instead, but whatever, this is your design, I'm just here to give you my ideas. Like, you could just tell, she said you could just tell, like, from the conversation that they would just have, that she was just so envious or jealous of her friend's hat collection going off and taking off the way it was taking, even though it was slow. Like she said, the first order was, I think, in like October, and then the second order happened in like late December or something. And she just said, like, she just saw how it changed her friend. So she was like, how do I go about telling her, like, what is the issue? Like, I know the issue is that you feel some type of way, but you're just not willing to say it. I said, just be upfront with her. Just tell her, like, are you jealous about what has happened and what is taking place in my life with my business that you were just so supportive of, but now that I talk to you about it, you're one word answering me, you have less and less and less to say about it, you're not posting as much as you used to. She said a lot of her marketing was coming from her friend, but now all of a sudden she's not posting anything. And sometimes that will happen. You will see your friends' true colors when it comes to your success. When they start seeing the success that you're getting, and it doesn't even have to be from a business. It can be from your career. It could be from you buying a house. It could be from you getting engaged. It can be from it can even be from you buying a new puppy, and they are just upset that you got a damn dog. If you see just the smallest thing to make their nose turn up, and for them to just look at you like, she must think she's all that, or he must think he got it like that because now he got this new line going, or now that he got this new business idea and it's actually taken off, or he got this, whatever it is, or even he got a new car, he got all this jewelry, now he's making more money, or she's making more money. You really start to see who your friends and how your friends really view you once you start getting success. So that underlying hate and that underlying envy will really bring out the true colors of friends, whether you known them for a long time or even a short amount of time. You'll really get to see how they really feel about you, and if they're really genuine with you making it, and I guess in their head them not making it, but maybe God's calling hasn't come for them yet and it's your turn. Number 4, different mindsets, paths, and priorities. So each of us have 2 or maybe 3 different friend groups, or 2 or 3 different people you can hang out with, right? So you have the friends who you could party with all weekend, drink, have a good time, and just live it up every weekend. You know that these are your party friends, or these are the people, or the person, it doesn't have to be a bunch of them, the person who you know you can have a good time with, right? Then there are the friend groups, or the friend who is just the dreamer, always talking about, oh, I just want to be, I don't know, let's just say I want to be a YouTuber. I don't know, I'm just coming up with something, right? Because I can talk about this, and I can have that, and I can show this, and I can show that. I can show ways of how to write a book, and I can show people, like, how to start from the beginning, and how to add this to the book, and how to make it more interesting, and the characters or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm not going to do it, because that friend, or those friend groups, they're scared. They're scared to progress in life. They're comfortable where they are, but they don't want to be where they are. They want to be further in life. So you have the friends that kind of hold you back because they're the dreamers, right? And then you have the friend or the friends that who push you, right, to be your best self, who hears your dreams and hears your aspirations and hears where it is you want to go in life, and they push you and they're like, okay, so start. What's the problem? Okay, so how are we going to do it? They brainstorm with you to get you to that point, because in their mind they see that if you win, they win, and you see it the same way. If I win, you win, and they just want the best for you, right? So as we get older, as much as we love our friend groups, we tend to go down one of the three paths. I feel like everybody has those three friend groups. I know I do, and I love all of them dearly. I have each friend or friends who are useful. I don't want to say useful, it sounds terrible, but I guess useful in a sense of where I need them in my life, right? And more so the people who push and the partiers. As I've gotten older, the dreaming group has kind of faded, but I also don't put so much emphasis on the dreaming group. I kind of see where their head is and see where it is like they want to go in life, like, because I'm always interested in, like, okay, what are your ideas and what's going on, but to really say like I have those three groups of friends, I think everybody does. I think everybody has that. I know, like I said, I have that, and you really just want to pay attention to where God is kind of taking. I feel like for myself in the beginning, like more so in my early 20s, teenage years too, but early 20s, mid 20s too, I kind of was just like definitely more in the party mode. I was more in the hanging out. I was working, I was in college and everything, but I was more in the party scene. Go out every weekend or every other weekend, especially as a teenager. We was outside, I'm telling you. These teen clubs, we was having a good time, but I enjoyed myself more so. I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to go in my career, but I was still kind of teetering back and forth as to what I wanted to do. But my main thing was to enjoy my time. I didn't have any kids. I still don't have any kids, but I didn't have any kids. I was in a relationship, and then I was single, and then I was just enjoying myself. So those friend groups of hanging out and enjoying my time and partying was I guess, top tier right at that moment. They were in the front line of everything. The dreamers were kind of right there as well. The ones who had all these dreams and aspirations of wanting to do things, but I guess we were also in that space of just partying, and eventually one day we'll get there, but that wasn't in our forefront. We weren't thinking about our future as much as we should have been thinking about it. And there wasn't really much of a push group. I didn't really have much of a push friend group. It was more of I kind of just really had partying and dreamers. I had the partiers and the dreamers. And it wasn't until later on in my 20s and now in my early 30s where I now have pushers in my group. I have pushers in my life who I can tell my dream, like just for this, like having and wanting to start a podcast. And when I told a few people who I wanted to do this, majority of them pushed me to do it. Like, okay, do it. Like, this is what you want. Like, I said, what are you going to talk about? Okay, so basically everything is about self-developing and relationships and healing. Okay, good. Love it. So how are we going to go about it? Make sure you pick a certain day. Make sure you pick a certain time. Make sure you have this. They really pushed me to do it because they're like, I see you doing it. I can visualize you doing it. And like I said, I kind of was in that space without really realizing that I was needing to go into that space of finding a push group or a push few of friends, the pushers, and not really hang around with the dreamers and not really hang so much around with the partiers. And like again, like I said, love all my friends to death, but I feel like when God is trying to push you into a certain direction, more than likely you're going to go into the pusher side. You're going to find a bunch of friends or a bunch of people who will then become your friends to become your pushers and become the people who you have a I guess a future with, or a tighter friendship with, will mainly be with the pushers. Granted, there are still people who are down for the partiers because that's all they really want to do right now. They want to just enjoy life and they just want to party, and maybe they couldn't in their 20s. Maybe there were things going on that prevented them from doing that, but now that's where they're aligned at. Maybe you have a bunch of dreamers around you and they talk about the ideas of what it is that they want to do, but they're really not doing it. And it's not only keeping you from doing what it is you want to do, but it's also keeping them from what they want to do. There's nobody in the circle or nobody between the both of you, because it could just be you two, right? Or you three, that is going to allow for that to take off, to allow for any of your dreams to take off, because all of you guys are just sitting around dreaming about it, but nobody's doing it. I feel like everyone needs to find or have pushers in their life. The pushers in my life have definitely gotten me to this point. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys know exactly who you are. And not just friends, but also family as well. Who had said, like, you know what, if this is something that you really want to do, cool, do it. And I'm down for it. And, helping me get to that point, because I be in my head. I really do. I be second guessing myself. I'm like, should I not? I don't think that's a good idea. Nobody's gonna listen. Oh my God, what if they don't like this? And I just really will self-sabotage my own dream sometimes. But when you have a good solid, it doesn't even have to be a whole group either. It could be one person. Like, I don't want to make it seem like you need to have a whole clique. Like, the smaller the friend group, the better. I realized that too as I got older. Child, I'm cool with the 15 plus friends. I'm good with a good solid 5, 6, and I'm straight. Like, I'm good. I'm good off that. So, but definitely, like I said, having pushers in your life is what you want to have, and knowing that they're the ones who are going to be the driving force to where it is you want to go. And that's why some friendships end, because, going back to the question, different mindsets, paths, or the topic, different mindsets, paths, and priorities. Everyone in your group may have a different type of life and different type of path that they want to go down. Like I said, some people may be okay with just being in the partying scene. There are people who are just not ready to take that leap of faith yet. And then there are people who are ready to get the ball rolling. They're ready to keep it, to start seeing results and changing their life. And that can be the shift in your group as well. You'll lose some friends. You won't talk to so many of them. And it's okay, because you don't want to be where you were in the same spot last year or the year before that. You want to progress. And if that means having to change who you hang around, then so be it. But everybody has their own different mindsets and their priorities. Number 5, life-changing events. Moving to another state, career choices, starting a family, even, unfortunately, tragic deaths or events in someone's life can cause a friendship to fall apart. I know that sometimes moving, I guess especially for moving to a different state, can also hinder some friendships, because it's like, okay, I have my own thing going on, and majority of the time you have your own thing, and because we don't see each other that much, our schedules may not align. We probably may not talk as much, so that will then make your relationship fall apart. Career choices. I know that for me, my schedule being what it is has caused for me, like I said, not to really hang out as much because I gotta be in the bed by a certain time because I gotta wake up to crack of dawn. While you're in the middle of your dream, I'm getting up, waking up to go take a shower and get ready to go to work. So career choices, and the schedules. Starting a family definitely could be one. For some people, it doesn't really change. It may draw you closer. And for some people, it will draw them a little bit apart. I know that for me, I kind of took it as when some of my friends started to have kids, I was just like, okay, well, there goes my partying friend, or there goes another friend to go party with or to hang out with because they had to be moms. And in hindsight, I thought about it like, I could have definitely been around more. I didn't need it to be a, well, just because, they can't party anymore, that doesn't mean that we can't do something else. And just realizing that was just an addition in their life. That can also be an addition in my life. Like, okay, cool. I got a little niece, got a little nephew, whatever. But I would take it as, they have new things to worry about, and they have more important things to worry about than going out and doing this and doing that and being able to leave the house whenever they wanted to. So I kind of took it as like, in my mind, I was thinking like I'm doing them a favor, but in reality, it was just like, you were pulling back rather than being there for them. And I think that can cause a lot of miscommunication or misunderstanding in a friendship when people start having children. Because again, like I said, you start thinking that they will no longer have time for you because they have somebody who is obviously, without a doubt, more important than anything else in this world. And you automatically assume that, like, okay, well, they're not going to have time for me, so I'm just going to pull back a little bit instead of just being there. So that can be the cause for some friendships to take a little change, a little alter. Even tragic deaths. We all face them in our families. We all face them in our relationships, our friendships. And again, that can also make someone feel like they're going through something so bad, and they may have lost their mother, their father, their grandparents, a sibling, an aunt, a close cousin, whomever, and you will then take it as they're not going to have time, or they may not want to talk right now, and you make it a you thing when it really isn't a you thing. It's more of a, you just need to support them and continue to be there for them, rather than thinking that they're not going to have time for you. So it's a lot of miscommunication with life-changing events, and I feel like that's something that within your group, because even within my group, I had to have the conversation, and it was said, like, you just, as in for me, I just disappeared. And I was just like, well, I didn't mean for me to disappear. It was just like, I felt, like I said, you had things that were just way more important, and I didn't know how I would fit into that type of situation. But again, making it a me thing and not making it it's okay to still add yourself in somehow, some way. So I feel like life-changing events is something that can be worked on, as long as the two of you or the group of you, whomever, realizes that it's something that needs to be talked about and something that needs or can be resolved. I don't feel like a lot of friend groups can or should end on life-changing events. I feel like a regular conversation can change the perspective of each individual if both are open to it. And I feel like if that's what you're going through now with any of your friends, I feel like you guys should have that open and honest conversation. And not through a text message. Please, for the love of God, do not do it through a damn text message. Make some time to hang out with each other, whether it be in the house or a restaurant or whatever. Have the conversation, be honest and open, or even just a talking on the FaceTime or just regular phone call, and have the conversation to fix it and to see where their head is and see where your head is, and see if it can be a meeting of the minds, and for you guys to move on from it. Because life-changing events, it's like I said, life happens, and we all go through our own little curves and ups and downs. But if it's not something that caused you any personal harm or did anything to your money, your finances, I feel like it's something that can be talked about when it comes to that. So the next one, romantic involvement. When I was writing this, I was just like, did I have any romantic involvement with any of my male friends? No, I don't. Did I? No, I didn't. I did not. I kind of, I really had to think about it again. But no, I didn't. I didn't have any type of romantic involvement with my friends, my male friends or my female friends. From my knowledge, they haven't said anything to me, so I don't know. But no romantic feelings towards any of my friends. When you're my friend, you're my friend. I have you already in this, like, you're my bro, or you're my sis, or you're my friend. And that's just how I see it. I don't see anything past that. But I know some people who have actually have had romantic entanglements with their friends, and it has led to some serious issues, like fighting, like physical fighting. It has led to restraining orders. It has led to what else? It's led to some things that, like, it didn't have to get to that point, but because one person had like a secret crush or really like liked them more than what they wanted to say or to admit to, it just turned bad. It just turned ugly. And so one person that I know said that, this girl really liked her, really was like, I guess, realized that, like, I like you more than just a friend. I like you more than just being your best girlfriend, as in, like, really a girl who is a friend, not a girlfriend. And I guess, one night they were drinking, good times, friend hug. She kissed her. And the friend was taken aback, like, oh, excuse me? Like, did you just kiss me? Like, I know we're drinking, but I'm not drunk. Are you drunk? And she was like, no. I just thought I would just do it because this is just something that I've always been thinking about. So she said she stood there for a while, and she was just like, how do I go about telling her that, one, she said she wasn't attracted to girls like that, and two, that, you're my friend, like, I don't see you in that type of way. So she said 2 days had went by, they didn't speak, and then she had the conversation with her on the phone and said, listen, but that night, you kissing me and really, like, meaning it, I was kind of shook, like, where did this come from, and how long have you been feeling this way? And the girl just blurted out and just told her entire story about how she felt about her. Like, they've been friends for, I think, like 7-8 years or so, and she really just, wanted to, she really just wanted to be this girl's friend, and that's just how she's seen it. But she was just like, as they went on trips and as they hung out more, and she invited her to her house, and they had sleepovers and this and that, they just became real connected, and she started to feel more of a romantic feeling towards her than just being a friend. But she realized that, like, okay, she probably isn't into girls, and she probably doesn't want anything sexual or a romance with me. So I'm just going to hide my emotions and hide my feelings. But this is how I really view her. And she said, like, she doesn't know what came over her. She just felt like she had to kiss her in that moment. So she kissed her, and she was just like, the girl says, I wanted to fight her. She's like, do you realize I wanted to fight you? Because I didn't understand why you did that in front of so many people, and I didn't understand why you chose now to do it. So, long story short, she is no longer friends with the girl. That the girl was actually starting to pop up wherever she was, like on some stalker shit. Like, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just gonna go get my nails done, and X, Y, and Z. Knew where she was getting her nails done. Mind you, they've been friends for 8 years, so she knows where she kind of hangs out and what she does where she does her thing. And she was like, Michelle, I had to just change up everything that I did because this girl would not stop hunting me down. And I was like, oh, you got a stage 5 clinger on your hands. That's crazy. But it really can turn into that. It can really turn into, I guess, someone who once saw you as a friend, now wants to see you in more of a romantic level. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it does work. I've seen, I know one or two couples who were friends like since middle school, and now they're married and they have children and they have their home, and they're doing great, and they obviously have their ups and downs or whatever, but it worked out for them because they just matured and stuck through it with their friendship. But then they realized, like, you know what, I want you more than just a friend, and I want you more than just, something platonic. And like I said, sometimes it works, but I feel like you have to have that conversation. That's another thing. Outside of the life-changing events, that's another thing that you have to have a conversation with, is to see the state of mind. Come on, Michelle. The state of mind. I was going to say mindset, but the state of mind that the person is in order to see if that's how they want to move with you. They may not even really like you like that. They may just feel like, like I said, you're a good friend, and that's where I want to keep you. And if you can't handle that and you feel like, I need more, then you need to reevaluate how you should show up for said friend, because maybe it doesn't work for them. And then you'll lose out on a good friendship because of your romantic feelings. But again, I feel like that's just a personal thing. You have to just go on about that. I never had that feeling. Like I said, if I see you as a friend, I see you as a friend. I don't see you nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, I never had those problems. But that can also end a friendship. Number 7, lack of trust. Just as any relationship, trust has to be a firm foundation. So you have to ask yourself, right? Can you trust this person with your life? Can you trust this person with your family? Can you trust this person to have your back when others are running your name through the mud? Can you trust this person with your feelings? Can you trust this person to tell you the truth about yourself without there being any nasty fallout? Can you trust this person with your life? Like, that's another one. I'm going to say it again. Can you trust this person with your life? If anything happens, can you, if you're laying on your deathbed, can you trust your friend to choose the right thing, knowing that how you would want and what you would want out of this, like what the decision that they would have to make? Do you think your friend would know exactly what you want? If you answered no to most of these questions, then you already have your answer. There's no trust, or there's a lack of trust. But if most of them were yes, with 1 or 2 no's, then, like I said, a deep conversation with your friend or your friends needs to happen for there to be an understanding as to where the lack of trust really is. Because a lot of it, again, can just come from a simple conversation. And you also asking yourself, why don't you trust them? Some people don't trust people in general, regardless if they're friends, if they're your friend or not. They don't trust their family members. They don't trust their coworkers. They don't trust the mailman. They don't trust the police. They don't trust the firefighters. They don't trust this. They just don't trust humans. But then again, you also have people who just are used to so-called friends not having their back. And that can also be a reason why there's a lack of trust in a friendship, because they're used to people doing them dirty, financially messing them up, mentally messing them up, even setting them up, to say like, oh, that's my friend and whatever, and then God forbid they go to a party or something and they get jumped, and come to find out it was a whole damn setup from your actual true friend. I've heard stories about that too. I mean, y'all probably have heard stories of people setting up their own friends, setting up their own boyfriend, their own girlfriend, setting them up. But the lack of trust can also end a friendship. And I feel like if I can't trust you, then what do we really have? And can trust be rebuilt? It can. I feel like it definitely can be, but it takes a lot of work. And you, as the person who lacks the trust for this individual, you have to be open to seeing what it is they can do to gain your trust back. And if you're not receptive to it, if you don't want it, then just say that. Don't waste nobody's time. Just tell them, like, you know what? I'm good off this. I'd rather just we go our separate ways, but I don't trust you as a friend. And move on with yourself. Number 8, competition. I don't understand how you can have a friend who wants to compete with you. Like, going back to the story, like I said, with the whole thing of the girl having the hat brand. Like, her friend was jealous of her, but it was just like, okay, if you take that story, right, and use it as, okay, that friend then chooses to do her own hat brand or something similar to it, like maybe a scarf or a hoodie brand or something, and trying to compete against her, taking the same idea or, the same visuals or whatever the case may be, just because she feels like, well, I can do it better, or feeling like they always have to show off what it is they're doing to make themselves look better than what you're doing. Like, oh yeah, I bought this or I bought that. Or if you get a brand new car that, it could be your dream car. Like, you got your brand new Mercedes or your BM or your Rover or whatever. Like, you're excited about it. And then your friend feels the need to one up on you and get the newer year of the same car that you got. Like, what are you doing, weirdo? Like, why? Or like, even if it's nothing like that extreme, like, it could just be something of you writing your own book and you seeing how well everybody took to it, and the profit that you're getting from it, and the what's the word I'm trying to say? You just, like, you're reaping the benefits of what it is you've put out there, and your friend sees the same thing, and instead of her just going her own path or him going down his own path, they then write a book similar to what you just wrote. And it's just like, so what are you really doing here? Like, you never wanted to write a book, so now all of a sudden you want to write a book and have the same type of storyline as I'd have. It's one thing to, like, bounce ideas off of each other and have the same ideas. That's cool. But I feel like when you feel that friend is trying to one up on you and trying to be like, oh, all right, you got that? Well, like, look, I got this. Oh, yeah, you did that? Oh, that's cool, but I got that. always referring back to themselves as to what they got. It's like, so you really are in competition. That's so weird. I feel like that's so weird, and that's just somebody you just don't need to be around. That's somebody you need to just exit stage left out of your life, because you can't tell me that that's somebody who you want to keep around if all they want to do is just compete with you off of every aspect of your life. Like, you have your family and your house and your cars, and they want to have, and they end up having their family, their house, their cars, but they want to make their house bigger than yours. Like, and always want to shove it in your face and throw it in your, like, come on now. You're being weird. Find something to do. Get a hobby. But don't compete with me. Number 9, jealousy of having other friends. I feel like that's another weird thing that people do. And I feel like that's more of a female thing. I don't ever really see guys having that issue, or really having to, like, you know, you can't keep, or you can't have this friend around this friend because that friend feels a way about you having another friend. It's weird. It's weird to me. Like, why are you upset that I'm having, so I'm supposed to just be tied down to you for the rest of my life and have no other friends ever whatsoever? Okay. All right. Well, if it works for you, then okay, it works for you. But I don't get jealous if my friends have other friends. I like that for you. I can understand, like, why people do, though, because of the awkwardness. So, like, if you're standing there and then your friend invites you out somewhere and they're bringing their friend. Cool. You guys are getting along, you're enjoying yourself. And it's that insider joke that you just have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And they're just so over here sitting here, like, they're just sitting there kikiing about it. And you're just like, okay, what's the joke? Like, I can see the awkwardness, and all night it's just happening. You just feel like you're at the third wheel. I can understand that being a little uneasy. But I wouldn't say that would make me then feel like, oh, I don't want you to have other friends because I don't know what the joke is. I feel like you should have as many friends as you want. I mean, like I said, I rather a smaller circle than a bigger one at this point in my life. And I'm glad with my small circle. But the jealousy of having more than one friend, get over yourself. Respectfully, get over yourself. You're not the only one that I need to run to. You're not the only one who can probably give me the advice that I need. Because let's be honest, you cannot go to all of your friends and ask them about a specific part in your life, or an event in your life, or an issue in your life, and go to all of them, and at least one of them or two of them is going to say some shit that's going to piss you off. And it's just like, okay, no, I didn't need that right now. Like, again, you want the honesty, you want the truth, but then you also know that these are there's certain friends that you're like, I can't say this to them because it's just, they're not rational enough. They just don't they don't think right? They don't think with their minds. They just think first with their hearts, and their emotions take over first before they logically come up with what it is they need to say. So I'm good off of my friends having other friends, and if they do, that's cool. And a lot of times I get along with a lot of my friends' friends. I don't think there was ever like one friend that my friend had that I was just like, I don't get along with them. Like, I may say, let me not say that. I may say, I don't really care for them. I would definitely say that. But I won't say it to their face. Like, I will tell them, like, pull them to the back, like, yeah, that one, her energy off. I'm not a fan. And like, really? You don't like them? It's not that I don't like them. I don't know them not to like them. But the energy, I'm good. I'm good. And I'll just keep it real cordial, and I'll just keep it real nice around them. But if I'm not feeling your energy, if I'm not feeling how you are, if I feel like you're always gotta be the center of attention, like, why? Just sit back, relax. Why you always gotta put yourself in front? you're doing too much. Come to the back. Come to the back. Relax. Have a seat. Like, and I said that to one of my friends, and she was like, after I guess they went out, and she saw exactly what it is that I was saying, and she was like, Michelle, you were so right, because she did it this time that we went out, and I was just like, bro, you really need to calm down. And I was like, I didn't want to tell you I told you so, but I just saw it in her. I just saw the antics, and I was just like, no. Number 10, your friends not liking your significant other. I swear this has caused a lot of problems in friendships when your friends don't like your partner. That can drive a wedge between your group, because like I don't even think it has to be anything serious. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a argument or like an altercation that happened. It can honestly just be the fact that this person is making your friend happy and your friends don't like it. Like, has anybody ever gotten in a situation like that where you felt like you found the love of your life, or you found like you really like this girl, you really like this guy, and for whatever reason your friends are just like not receptive to it. Like, they just don't like them. And then when you ask them, like, okay, so what's the problem? I just don't like his energy. I just don't like how she act around you. She act mad weird. And it's like, now they're stuck in the middle. Like, how do I go about this? My friend group never really came like to an end because of this. But I remember one of my exes, me and him were on and off for 5 years, and he was a guy. He was a guy. I'll just say that. I don't want to put all his business out there, but he was, fuck it. Anyway, he was manipulative. He was abusive. He was just, it was just a lot of stuff. So it was just like, he cheated and everything. And my friends saw it, and they were just like, Michelle, leave him alone. Michelle, I don't like him. Michelle, this and that. So whenever I would do something like for my birthday, he would be there, and they would be there, and you could just like feel the heat coming off of my friends, like, ooh, I don't like this boy. And I'm just like, guys, please, it's my birthday. And for the sake of my birthday, everybody acted fine, but I can just sense it. Like, I knew that they just did not like this man at all. And even when it wasn't my birthday, like, if we just did something, it could be like Six Flags, like we just go to Six Flags or something, and like, did he have to come? Like, and even if he like brought his friends or something, it was just still like, I don't like him. And I know sometimes that can drive a lot of friends away from each other, because you'll pick your partner over your friends, or your friends will feel like, you're spending more time with them and you're not giving us enough time, and then they'll feel jealous about the time that you're spending with them has been cut in half because of your partner. But I feel like there has to be a line kind of drawn between your significant other and your friends. And when I say that, I mean, like, I first feel like you can't tell your friends everything that happens in your personal, intimate relationship. Obviously, you'll ask for advice. Obviously, there will be certain things that you would want them to know what's going on with you. But I feel like certain things you do have to just keep between you and your partner. And you have to just figure it out amongst the two of you. Because that's how things get resolved, and that's how you know how to make the best choice for yourself and for your relationship. But I do feel like hearing your friend's side, because sometimes you won't see something because of love and because of how much you like this person and of how much you see the good in this person. Sometimes you'll blind yourself from how someone really is. And sometimes your friends will see it before you see it. Like, I think in that situation for myself, seeing his manipulative ways and his controlling ways, I was blind to it in the beginning because it was just like, he ain't like that. Like, no, he just, he's a little, he wants me to himself. I laugh at myself for thinking this way because it was just like, Michelle, really get a fucking grip. But it's like I said, we're very honest here. We speak the truth. Seeing that at that time and thinking that way, it was just like, I didn't see what my friends saw. And then after we broke up and I was venting to them, one of my then friends, we're associates now. I would say we're associates. We're cordial. She would say, "Oh, I told you so. I told you so. Didn't I tell you? But you don't want to listen to me. I told you. I told you." And in that sense, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear them say, or hear your best friend, or hear your close friend. This cough will not leave my soul. It won't. It's staying with me. Sorry, y'all. You don't want to hear them say, "I told you so. I told you so." Just be there as their friend and just hear them and hear what it is that they're going through. And just be that crutch for them to lean on when they're going through whatever they're going through. "Oh, I told you, man. I told you she was psycho. I told you she was crazy. I told you she was..." He don't want to hear all that. He's just letting you know at this given moment how he's feeling and where he needs to go. And if he asks your opinion, give it and be honest and tell him how you really feel, or tell her how you really feel. But don't do the whole "I told you so, and if you would have listened to me, this would..." No, because that will also drive you away from your friend, because it will feel like, well, I feel like I can't come to you and tell you anything because you're just so negative and you want to rub it in my face instead of just listening to what it is I'm saying. And maybe now I have that aha moment, like, oh shit, maybe this is what they were talking about this entire time and I wasn't paying attention, or I wasn't listening. But not liking your friend's significant other can definitely draw a deep, fine line between the both of you. And I feel like also you have to make time for your friends and make time for your significant other. And I think that also avoids a lot of conflict. I think also not always bringing your spouse along to everything. I learned that as well. Keeping, like I said, your friends, and your boyfriend or girlfriend, your boyfriend and girlfriend time. And in some situations, yes, you can bring them along and have them tag team or have it be a group thing. But for the most part, you want to kind of keep the two separate in most cases. But if you really don't like your friend's significant other, just express to them truly and honestly, but nicely. Don't come off as a bitch. Don't be don't be overly assertive. Just let them know, like, listen, there are things that I'm not keen on. There are things that they do that I think you need to open your eyes to, and go from there. But don't make matters worse. You don't want to do that. Don't make the person feel bad for choosing this person as their person. And in time they will figure it out. But it's like, it's nothing worse than having your friends not like. I really remember that day. Like, I literally remember that day. They're just sitting there, and I could just feel the heat coming from them. Like, ooh, I don't like this boy. And I think he knew, because he was just sitting there laughing the whole time, and I'm just like, oh God, this isn't gonna work out well. This is not gonna work out well. But that can definitely draw a line as well. And last but not least, I didn't want to leave on an odd number, but I couldn't think of anything else that was relative, or at least I thought could come to mind. Addictions. Having bad addictions can lead a lot of friendships to end. And I guess in this sense, it could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be smoking, it could be a sexual addiction. It doesn't necessarily have to be like substance, right? It can be things outside of substance abuse. It could be a gambling addiction. It could be I don't know, any other addiction that it just doesn't align with you, that you see is taking and turning them down the wrong path. I know that for me, I personally am not I don't smoke. I am not I'll do a hookah here and there, but I've never smoked weed. Don't be surprised. I have never smoked weed a day in my life. I don't like the smell. Never liked the smell. I don't think it's cute when I'm at work and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you smell like you did a wake and bake before you brushed your fucking teeth. I'm just saying. It's just not my thing. Nothing against it. Like I said, nothing against it. I just feel like it's not my thing. But I know people who rely on that and like cannot go about their day until they smoke some weed, or until they at least and I don't even mean just like one blunt. I'm talking about like 2-3 before you leave the house. Like that's an addiction. Like, baby, you need that to function. Like, for real. Like, you can't do nothing before you hit that. And I guess to certain people it may not come off like that because it's a natural, or it's a natural herb, like something from the ground. It's something that people use for medication. So in some senses, yes, it does help people in a way to get through life when it's a medical need. But I feel like there are people who definitely just do it just because they think that they need to do it all the time, and they really don't. But just as any other drug, whether it be coke or I don't even know what else is out here now. What was it before that everybody was on, that K2 thing that everybody was on? I don't know if that's even a thing now. I don't know if they finally got rid of it, or it's just not really a thing as much as it used to be. But having those addictions, drinking, having an alcohol problem, being an alcoholic, that can also be a very bad addiction that can drive friendships away. People who can't manage or know how to function when they're at a party and they can't handle their liquor. Being a sloppy drunk, always wanting to start arguments or start a fight, or always in somebody's face, or just doing things that are just like will cause so much drama, can cause you to lose friendships because they just don't know how to handle their liquor. Gambling. I know gambling can also be a thing where no matter what they do, they have to gamble on something. Like, the addiction can be so bad that they have to gamble on the smallest thing. Like, if they see two people walking on the sidewalk, Yo, I bet you $5. Homie in the blue jacket is going to get to the corner first before shorty in the purple jacket does. $5. Give me right now, $5. Like, you're not serious. Or to like place bets on like, I guarantee you the pigeon on the left is going to fly higher than the pigeon on the right. Like, okay, now, seriously. Like, I bet you $10. People don't think that it's an addiction, but it really can be. If you constantly have to take yourself to the casino, if you constantly have to, like I said, place a bet on everything that happens in your life just to win some money or to lose some money, it's a bad addiction. And again, that will cause friendships to take a turn for the worse. Sexual addictions, like, I mean, I guess that's more on like a personal level. I don't know if you would really have that conversation with your friends, but if your friends, I guess you can take it as if you're married or if you're in a relationship and you have an addiction to cheating. That can be an addiction, right? And that's a part of a sexual addiction, that no matter what you do, whether, like I said, if you're married or if you're just in a relationship and you're hanging out with your boys, you're hanging out with your boys or you're hanging out with your girls, you always see that one friend that's always in somebody's face. And it's like, you do have a wife or a husband at home. You do have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And you see that no matter where y'all go, it could be to McDonald's, it could be to the club, it could be just from you walking from the parking lot to the bathroom, and they just have to be in somebody's face, or they just have to flirt, or they have to find some way into the face of somebody else. That's an addiction. Feeling the need to be pleased or be affirmed by somebody else other than your spouse, or needing the what is it? I'm drawing a blank here. You guys know what I'm talking about. But just that could be addiction as well. Needing the confirmation and the affirmation from other people to make you feel better about yourself, or just to hear from another person. That can also be a bad addiction, to then make you feel a way as like, yo, why is it that every time I go out with you, you have to be in somebody's face? Like, that's annoying. I need you to stop doing that, because I don't need your girl, or I don't need your man coming to me asking me, why is this number, that number, this number, this number, that number in your phone, and you were just with me this day, like causing unnecessary drama that you just don't want to be a part of. So that's also another thing. And it's sad, but if that is something that you're fighting with, if any of those addictions are something that you are struggling with personally, there are resources out there for you to get the help. Sometimes speaking to your friends is good, obviously, is for you to let them know what's going on in your life, but there are professionals out there who can help you get past all of these addictions. Alcoholism, I've witnessed it. I've witnessed drug addictions. I've witnessed all of it, and I'm just like, I could see where it takes somebody, and I can see how the feeling goes away. Whatever it is that person is battling with, it goes away once they're under the influence, or once they go into gambling, or once they go into these sexual acts. I can understand where the numbness takes place, but understand that when that high is gone, the problem is still there. It's just gone for that moment. So you really never resolve it. You're just covering it. And like I said, I want to end that part of addiction being a driving force for relationships to end, and hoping that people who are fighting these problems, that you guys really go and seek help and make this year Just because we are, what day is it? What's today? What's today? 15 days in to the new year doesn't mean that you can't make a change for yourself and get that help that you need. But yes, guys, keeping true friends nowadays can be hard. There are so many underlying feelings and dishonesty and hidden agendas. And if you feel like you lack being a better friend to your own friend group, take accountability and choose to do better. Let this year be the year where you say, you know what, I'm going to be a better friend to my group, or I'm going to be a better friend to this person. And if the conversation needs to be had as to where it is you need to change or where you need to show up more as a friend, then have that conversation. There's nothing wrong with it. And really do some self-evaluation and see where you can be, like I said, a better friend to the people whom you love in your life and who you really care for in your circle. Simply ask the question, like, hey, I have a question for you. How can I show up better for you as a friend? And I guarantee you, and you can even start that question off in just a text message. I asked my friends this last year or the year before last, I think 2022. I had asked them that question, and we had this deep conversation where I really just wanted to know like how I could be better as a friend and where did I lack. And they were like, "Oh, this is good. Like, what made you ask this?" And I was like, I just realized that I was putting more things in front of my friend groups, and I honored my friend groups, but I didn't honor them as much as I thought I did. And it doesn't take months. It doesn't take days. It doesn't take months. It can take for as long as it has to, but the steps in order to change how you are to your friends is what matters. And I value that for my own friends to, ask me that question or where they can show up and what do I need from them and what they can help me with. And again, you have to have patience. You have to let them see or let them adjust themselves and their schedules and their life to accommodate you, but also allowing them to do that. You can't ask them to change and vent to them about what it is that they need to do for you, and then you just don't allow it to happen. But if the answer is nothing yet, you see there is still some sort of energy that does not align with yours, then maybe you have to fall back and build new friendships where you feel valued, heard, and respected. And that's okay too. It's okay if the friendship group has taken that's it. It's taken its last breath and it's moved on. And again, it doesn't have to fall out in a bad fallout. It can just be like, you know what? This is how you're moving and I don't really like it. This is how I'm moving and this is how I see my life. And I wish you the best. And I don't wish you any harm. I don't wish you any loss. I hope you get everything that you want in life. But this is where I see myself going. And proceed from there. And like I said, that's okay if that happens. We're grown. Life changes, things change, and your friendship groups can change as well. But I thank you guys for listening. This was a much longer, I knew this was going to be a longer episode because the amount of comments, like I said, and the amount of questions that I got from this one topic, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a much longer episode than what I normally do. But I'm glad that you guys interacted, and I hope that you guys continue to interact when I ask the questions. Be upfront, be honest at how and what it is you want me to talk about, and what do you want me and my guests to talk about. I'm bringing more guests on this year. Next week, I actually have guests coming on, and I'm very excited to have them. And we'll be talking about social media. That was the runner-up. So if you looked at my Instagram and you voted, that was the runner-up. The runner-up was social media and your relationships. And that was another one that got a lot of comments. A lot of people, I guess, had things to say about social media. And I kind of got some things to say too about having your relationship on social media versus not having it on it. So that will be the next episode. But I thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys took some great points from this podcast. I mean, when I was writing it down, I was writing down what it is I wanted to say, but also reevaluating the conversations that I've had with my own friends. I really pointed out like where I still needed to do more work when it came to my own friend groups and what it is I needed to allow to fall off, the friend groups I needed to just let go of, and the ones I needed to keep watering. And again, there's nothing wrong with letting go, and there's nothing wrong with allowing new to come in. Everybody needs friends, so let's cut the bullshit about, oh, I don't need friends and I don't need, that's not what God put us on this earth to have. God put us on this earth to have a community, to have a firm group of people. Obviously having your foundation in Him first, but then having your group being the people who you can rely on, and building a community where you feel safe in. And if you're struggling to find that, look at hobbies, look at things that you like, interests that the things that you're interested in. You don't always have to find friends at the club. You always don't have to find friends at the hookah bar. You don't always have to find friends at the lounge. You can find friends in things that you also like to do. If you like to sing, if you like poetry, if you like, what is that thing called? The clay making thing, ceramic classes. If you like making clothes, designing clothes. Like I myself am trying to broaden and get out there more as far as the things that I like to do, and finding people who are interested in the same things that I'm interested in. And it's perfectly fine if you're like a gym head and you're into fitness. Find people who are into fitness, and let that be your circle. And even if by going to the gym you'll meet those type of people, but just things like that. So be easy on yourself, relax. I thank you guys again for joining me tonight and listening and tuning in every Monday, 6 p.m., streaming all over the place. And stay tuned for more and better episodes. I love you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of your night, and leave whatever happened today in today and go into tomorrow with a better mindset. Love you guys. Bye.